It was the last school dance of the year, June 1990. The gym was packed, music blaring, everyone smiling. By 11 p.m., the school was empty. Everyone had gone home, except one person. Miss Dana Wright, a 28-year-old teacher, was seen locking up, waving goodbye. That was the last time anyone ever saw her. The next morning, her car still in the lot, her purse inside the school, her keys found in the dirt behind the gym. No witnesses, no signs of a struggle. She didn't run away. She didn't leave a note. She was just gone. For 10 years, nothing. Until two former students broke into a locked storage room behind the school. What they found inside rewrote everything the town thought it knew. June 8, 1990. The final school bell rings at Rosewood High. Kids rush out of classrooms, laughing and shouting. Backpacks swing over shoulders. Teachers lean in doorways, smiling. Summer has finally begun. In the middle of all this noise is Ms. Dana Wright, a 28-year-old English teacher. She's carrying a box of decorations down the hall. Streamers, balloons, and a cardboard disco ball. A group of students pass her. One yells, "See you at the dance tonight, Miss Wright." She waves and laughs. "Don't forget to bring good shoes. We're dancing until the floor breaks." Dana is well-liked, friendly, always helping students who fall behind. She stayed late all year to tutor kids after school, even when she didn't have to. Now, she's one of the teachers volunteering to help run the end-of-year dance. She's not just showing up. She's in charge of decorating, and she's excited. That evening, the school gym smells like floor wax and fresh pizza. Teachers and students work together to set up for the big night. Streamers are taped across the walls. A disco ball is tied to a basketball hoop. Old cassette tapes are loaded into a stereo system near the bleachers. Dana stands on a chair, fixing a broken light with a roll of tape. "Be careful," a student warns. "I've survived grading 200 essays. I can handle this," she jokes. Down below, a quiet student named Lily helps blow up balloons. She's shy, the kind who never talks much. But Dana leans down and chats with her like they've been friends for years. "You look nice tonight," Dana says. Lily smiles. Music starts to play. Other students arrive in waves. The gym fills with noise, laughter, and movement. Dana steps back, claps her hands, and says, "Let the party begin." Sometime around 9:45 p.m., Dana steps out the side doors for a breath of air. The sky is orange and purple. The sun is setting. Behind the pine trees, she leans on the wall, just outside the gym, listening to the muffled music behind her. Kids are dancing. Lights are flashing inside, but out here, it's quiet. She smiles to herself, then pulls her cardigan tight. It's getting chilly. She doesn't check her phone. She doesn't rush. After about a minute, she stands up, brushes off her skirt, and quietly walks back inside. No one notices she left. No one notices her return. The dance ends at 11 p.m. sharp. Students head outside in groups, yelling goodbyes. Parents wait in parked cars. Music fades. Lights come on. Teachers begin cleaning up. Dana stays behind to help. She picks up cups, folds chairs, and sweeps the gym floor. The stereo is off. Most people have already left. At 11:15 p.m., the janitor, Mr. Lewis, walks through the back hallway to check the side doors. He sees Dana near the far wall, sweeping up confetti by the gym exit. She doesn't see him. She looks calm, focused, quiet. She finishes sweeping, then walks slowly toward the back hallway, the one near the storage rooms and old stage doors. Mr. Lewis keeps walking in the other direction. He assumes she's locking up or grabbing her. Thinks. But that moment, that quick, ordinary moment, is the last time anyone sees Miss Dana Wright alive. By 7:45 a.m. the next morning, the teacher's lounge is buzzing. Coffee brews. April shuffle. People talk about how great the dance was until someone asks, "Has anyone seen Dana?" A few heads turn. "No," someone says. "Maybe she took the morning off." She never misses staff meetings. At 8 a.m. sharp, the principal starts. Roll call. Still no Dana. A teacher walks down to her classroom, empty, lights off. Desk untouched. They check the front office. That's when they notice her purse, neatly placed in the lost and found box. Zipped and full. Inside, her wallet, her keys, even her glasses. Outside, her car is still parked in the same spot near the gym. Windows fogged. Locked. Someone calls her landline. No answer. The laughter from the night before feels 100 years away. And the building, once loud and full, is now quiet. Too quiet. At 9:30 a.m., the principal unlocks the gym doors himself. The decorations are still up. Folding chairs stacked neatly. Trash bins half full. It looks exactly like it did the night before, untouched. They sweep every corner. No signs of a struggle. No blood. No broken glass. Everything feels normal. Too normal. But then, near the back exit, a janitor notices something odd. A glint of silver in the dirt. It's a keyring, half buried under the fire exit ramp, nearly lost in the gravel. Dana's school keys. Her name is on the tag. Police are called. Yellow tape goes up. The school shuts down early. Students are told to go home. Teachers are instructed not to speak to the press. But by then, the story has already started to spread. Not a story about a missing purse or a forgotten meeting, but a missing person. By noon, Dana's parents are standing in the school parking lot, crying. Her mother clutches a framed photo. Her father speaks with police, holding back tears. She's not the kind to leave, he says over and over. Students start showing up. Some heard through friends. Others saw it on the news. They gather at the chain-link fence near the faculty lot, whispering, watching. One girl breaks down and says softly, she wouldn't just leave. She told me last week she was planning her summer reading list. Flyers are printed, dozens of them. Her smiling face now taped to trees, coffee shop windows, and gas station doors. TV vans pull up. Reporters ask questions. Police give no details. The town, once filled with graduation joy, is now holding its breath. No one's celebrating anymore. Now, everyone's searching. Late that afternoon, detectives walk the grounds behind the school, near the rear exit. The same one Dana was last seen near. They spot something in the mud. A single trail of footprints. No dragging marks. No other set following. Just one steady line of prints leading away from the building and ending suddenly near the edge of the forest. No signs of a struggle. No broken branches. It's like she walked into the trees and vanished. The officers look at each other in silence. This isn't a runaway. This is something else. By nightfall, the search is official. Police light up the woods. Dogs are brought in. Helicopters circle. But there's no scent trail. No sounds. No evidence of where Dana went. And by midnight, people start to talk. Some say she was seeing someone. Others whisper about staff drama. The sheriff holds a press conference. We're doing everything we can. But the tone has changed. This is no longer a rescue mission. This is a mystery, and it's getting colder by the hour. Dana Wright is now officially listed as missing, and the town of Rosewood will never feel quite the same again. The morning after Dana disappeared, police didn't waste time. They sent search dogs all around the school. The dogs sniffed near the gym, the parking lot, even inside the hallways. Nothing. No scent trail. Not even a sign she'd been there. Helicopters circled above the forest behind the school. From the air, they looked for any movement, any clue. They found nothing. Volunteers showed up. Teachers, parents, even students. They combed the riverside and nearby hiking trails. Some carried flashlights. Others held Dana's photo. A few. People shouted her name, hoping she might hear and answer. Hours turned into days. No one found a single thing. No purse. No clothing. Not even a shoe. It was like Dana had been erased. The police kept searching, but deep down, people already felt something was wrong. Really wrong. Detectives looked at every angle. Dana's car? Still locked in the school parking lot. Keys were found near the back exit. Purse was inside the school. Her phone? Still on her desk. There was no forced entry. All the school doors were locked from the inside. No fingerprints. No blood. No struggle. Dana's classroom was neat and untouched. Papers stacked. Desk organized. Nothing was missing. They talked to people at the dance. No one saw anything strange. No loud noises. No screams. No arguments. The cameras near the gym entrance weren't working. That night, a power surge from the DJ lights. Just bad luck. Dana's home didn't help either. Nothing there showed she was planning to leave. No packed bags. No goodbye notes. No signs of anything being wrong. It was like she stepped into a dark hallway and never came out. Detectives were stumped. She was gone. Completely gone. Back at school, things felt different. Students walked slower. Teachers avoided eye contact. No one sat in Dana's old seat in the staff room. And then, the rumors started. I heard she ran away with someone. No. I think she was scared. She told me someone was bothering her. I bet it was a teacher. Maybe they were dating. It didn't take long for fear to turn into gossip. Kids passed notes in class. Whispers filled the halls. Some students said Dana acted weird the week before. Quieter than usual. Jumpier. Others remembered she once stayed late to talk to the principal. No one knew what it was about. The worst part? No one could prove anything. There were no answers. Just questions. And every time someone brought up her name, it felt like the room got colder. Everyone at Rosewood High was thinking the same thing. Someone knew something. One student finally came forward. Her name was Emma Keller. She was 16, quiet, and had been close to Ms. Wright. Emma told detectives something she hadn't shared before. On the night of the dance, Dana didn't seem happy. She seemed nervous. She kept looking toward the back doors. Emma remembered seeing Dana backstage near the curtain racks. She was sitting alone, writing in a small black notebook. Emma had seen that notebook before. Dana always carried it. She wrote in it when she thought no one was watching. But after that night, the notebook was gone. No one found it in her classroom. It wasn't in her bag. It wasn't in her house. Emma said she had a bad feeling, like Dana was trying to leave a message or a warning. Police wrote it down. That notebook might hold the truth. If only someone could find it. After Emma's statement about the missing notebook, detectives turned their focus toward the school staff. Teachers were pulled into quiet rooms one by one. At first, they smiled, tried to be helpful. What? But as the questions grew sharper, those smiles faded. Where were you when the dance ended? Did you see Dana leave? Did she ever mention being afraid? Some said no. Others hesitated. One teacher glanced at the door 3 times before answering anything. Another kept repeating, I really don't remember. Detectives noticed the tension, nervous glances, short answers, fidgeting hands. No one openly admitted to seeing or hearing anything strange. But it wasn't just what they said. It was what they didn't say. Something felt off. Like someone was protecting someone. Maybe it was fear. Maybe guilt. Or maybe someone in that staff room already knew exactly what happened that night and had kept it quiet for 10 long days. Among the teachers was Mr. Douglas Rhodes, the school's science teacher. In his first interview, he said he left the dance early, around 10:15 p.m., to beat traffic. But the second time he was questioned, his story changed. Now he said he left closer to 11. When asked which route he took home, he hesitated, scratched his neck, then claimed he didn't really remember. The officers kept their expressions neutral, but they wrote everything down. Rhodes started to sweat. His hands trembled when he reached for his coffee. He avoided eye contact. When asked if he saw Dana that night, he gave a short laugh and said, "Well, probably." It was busy, but he never said it with confidence. Something about him felt off. Not guilty. Not yet, but wrong. Later, a detective would write in his notes, "Rhodes is nervous. Keep watching him." In the days that followed, tips flooded in. A delivery driver said he saw a white van parked behind the school around midnight. A teenage boy claimed Dana had a stalker. An older man who drove a green truck. Another person said they saw two teachers arguing near the loading dock the week before the dance. Detectives followed each lead. They checked traffic cams, phone records, security logs. Nothing matched. The van couldn't be traced. The green truck belonged to a local mechanic out of town that weekend, and no one could confirm any argument ever took place. The more they dug, the more the trail vanished. One by one, the tips dried up. There was no physical evidence, no suspects. "No body in that notebook Emma mentioned?" Still missing, the case felt like a puzzle with all the corner pieces gone, and time was running out. As summer faded, so did the town's patience. Some blamed the school for not protecting her. Others whispered that Dana had secrets, that maybe she left on her own. Rumors hardened into opinions. Lines were drawn in diners, barbershops, church pews. Dana's parents begged people not to forget her. But slowly, sympathy turned into silence. The school kept holding classes. Kids kept showing up. But no one really smiled anymore. And that small-town warmth? It started to disappear. By October, the search was over. No press conferences. No answers. Just a quiet line added to the national database. Dana Wright missing, possibly deceased. Flyers turned yellow and curled. Her photo faded in windows. No one looked at anymore. Police stopped calling. Even the whispers died down. But in kitchens, classrooms, and late-night phone calls, one question never went away. What really happened that night? And maybe more haunting than that, who still knows the truth and stayed silent all this time? It's 1991. A year has passed since Dana vanished. Her photo still hangs on the school bulletin board. It's the same missing poster, black and white, her smiling face, bold letters that say, "Have you seen Ms. Wright?" But now, the corners are curling. The paper is stained from rain. The tape barely holds. Students walk by it every day. Some glance at it. Most don't. A new class has started. New teachers, new routines. The dance is just a memory now. No one talks about her. It's too hard. Too confusing. Her name isn't said in the hallways anymore. Not even during class, but the poster stays alone on the wall, and the silence around it grows louder. Every once in a while, a janitor replaces the tape, straightens the corners, but no one brings it up. It's like the town agreed to stop asking the question. Where did she go? Dana's old classroom is still there, but it doesn't look the same. A new teacher took over the space. The walls are painted blue now. The shelves have new books. Dana's nameplate is gone, removed quietly. No announcement. No goodbye. Her old things were boxed up and sent to her parents. Staff don't mention her anymore. Some say they forgot. Others say it's just too painful. But once a year, on the last day of school, the principal holds a 1-minute silence. No one says why. But everyone knows. For that 1 minute, the halls feel heavy again, and her memory returns. In the summer of 1993, Dana's parents sold their home. No goodbye party. No press interview. They just packed up a small moving truck and left town. Neighbors watched from windows. No one went outside. The Wrights had stopped answering calls months ago. Stopped replying to letters. Grief had made them quiet. They didn't ask for a memorial. They didn't hold a funeral. Because there was no body. No answers. No final moment to hold on to. Just silence. As the moving truck drove off. A neighbor whispered, "They'll never get closure." And sadly, they were right. They left town broken. And alone. Not everyone left. Emma Keller, now 26, still lives in Rosewood. She works as a local reporter at a small newspaper. Most of the stories are boring. Lost pets, bake sales, school board meetings. But above her desk, pinned to the wall, is something different. It's Dana's missing poster, the same one from high school. The edges are torn, and the ink is faded. But Emma never took it down. Sometimes, after writing articles no one reads, she stares at it. She remembers Dana's voice, her smile, the way she stayed after class to help kids who felt invisible. Emma hasn't forgotten. She still thinks about that night, still wonders what Dana wrote in that little black notebook. She keeps a folder of clippings in her bottom drawer. And every year on June 8th, she doesn't work. She walks past the old school. And listens for something that's never come the truth. Kyle Brennan was 17 when Dana disappeared. He was quiet, smart, and always kept to himself. Now, at 27, he's back in the same school, this time as a part-time janitor. He didn't plan it. The job just came up, and he needed the money. But the first time he walked those halls again, something hit him. The floors were the same. The smell, the lockers. Even the old gym still had the faded dance banner from 1990, hidden in the rafters. Kyle walks slowly now. He remembers everything. He remembers the search, the fear, the day they said she was just gone. He never told anyone this, but Dana once stayed late to help him with a failing grade. She told him, "You're smarter than you think, Kyle." That line stuck with him. And now, years later, every time he pushes a mop down those quiet halls, he thinks about her. By spring of 2000, Kyle had been working at the school for almost a year. One morning, a staff-wide memo arrived. The school auditorium was finally getting renovated after nearly 2 decades. The letter was taped to the janitor's closet door. It read, "All backstage storage rooms must be cleared by June 1st. Most of the cleanup was routine, old props, costume racks, broken light stands. But one door stood out to Kyle. It was behind the far left curtain, nearly hidden. A narrow, gray door with a rusted handle. He realized he had never seen it opened. He asked another janitor about it. "It's been locked for years," the guy said. "No one even has the key anymore." But Kyle couldn't shake the feeling. This room hadn't been touched since long before he came back. Maybe since before Dana disappeared. That night, Kyle stood alone in the dark auditorium, listening. The next day, Kyle tried the master keys. None worked. Instead of forcing it open, he called someone he hadn't spoken to in months. "Emma," he said, "I found something weird." They met that afternoon. The hallway lights flickered overhead as they stood in front of the old door. Emma stared at it. "I've never seen this room before." Kyle jammed a flathead under the frame. With a loud snap, the lock broke. The door creaked open slowly. The smell hit first: old paper, dust, and mildew. Inside, stacked chairs, plastic bins, torn backdrops. Thick cobwebs hung from the ceiling like drapes. They stepped inside and stopped. Against the far wall was an old folding table. And on top of it, half covered in a yellow towel, was something small, black and leather dash-bound. Emma stepped forward. She said nothing, just reached out slowly and flipped it open. Two faded letters were stamped into the cover. D.W. Kyle grabs a crowbar from the janitor's closet. He and Emma stand in front of the old storage room, hidden behind the school auditorium stage. The metal door is rusted and dented. The lock barely holds. Kyle jams the crowbar under the handle and pushes hard. Crack. The lock snaps. The door creaks open. Dust fills the air. It smells like old wood and wet paper. Kyle coughs. Emma steps in slowly behind him. Inside, the room is packed. Broken folding chairs, torn costumes, tangled cords, and piles of old yearbooks cover the floor. One cheerleader outfit hangs from a nail. Its colors are faded. A mouse scurries past the box. Kyle shines his flashlight across the wall. Nothing unusual. But then he stops. Tucked under a collapsed curtain rack is a small metal box. It doesn't match the rest of the junk. It's clean, untouched, out of place. Kyle walks over and pulls it out. There's no lock. Just a simple latch. Emma looks at it, eyes wide. Her voice shakes. Open it. Kyle wipes the dust off the lid. The latch pops open with a soft click. Inside the box, there's only one thing. A small leather journal. It's old, worn around the edges. The leather is cracked. Two letters are pressed into the front cover. D.W.E.M. gasps. Dana Wright. She picks it up gently. The leather feels dry, like it might fall apart. She flips open the front cover. Written on the first page, in neat handwriting, are the words, Dana Wright, September 1988. There's no other writing on the page. Emma and Kyle stare at it. The room is silent, except for the soft hum of the hallway lights outside. This has been here since before she disappeared. Emma whispers. Kyle nods. They look at each other. Then slowly, they begin to turn the pages. At first, the journal feels normal. Dana writes about school, lesson plans, students she's proud of. Maria finally passed her quiz. She smiled all day. She talks about grading papers late into the night, about teachers she gets along with and ones she doesn't. Our page is filled with funny moments from class. One entry says, a kid today asked if Shakespeare was a football player. I almost cried laughing. She writes about trying to get better books for her classroom, budget cuts, staff meetings, small things that make teaching hard and special. But then something changes. About halfway through, the tone shifts. The sentences get shorter. She stops writing about the kids. The words start to feel colder, more careful. And in one entry, there's just a single line. I saw him again. Kyle looks up from the page. Emma's hands tighten around the journal. Dana's entries begin to focus on one thing, a man. She never writes his name. She just calls him. He was standing by the edge of the lot again. Third day in a row. She writes that he doesn't smile, doesn't wave. He just watches, sometimes from behind a tree, sometimes near the trash bins. Once she saw him sitting in an old green truck across the street. He doesn't belong here, but no one else sees him. Dana writes that at first she thought she was imagining it, but he kept coming back, always after school, always alone. She starts leaving the building with other teachers, just to feel safe. But even then, she feels his eyes. He waits until I'm alone. I think he knows my routine. One entry is only 3 words. He smiled today. Emma closes the journal for a second. Her face is pale. This wasn't random. She whispers. Kyle says nothing, but both of them now know Dana was scared. The entries keep going. Dana begins to describe little things left behind in her classroom, things that weren't hers. First, a dried white flower placed neatly on her desk. No name, no note. Just sitting there after class one afternoon. Then, a cassette tape, unlabeled. She doesn't play it. She's too afraid of what might be on it. A week later, A sticky note is tucked between her lesson plans. It says, "You look tired today." That's when Dana stops writing about fear. She starts writing about dread. She never tells her students. Not even her closest friends. Not even Emma. She says she doesn't want to seem dramatic or paranoid. But deep down, she knows this isn't a prank. Someone is watching her. And now, someone is leaving her gifts. She writes, "They're not trying to scare me." That's what makes it worse. A few pages later, the entries take a sharper turn. Dana writes that she finally tried to speak up. She asked for 5 minutes with the principal. Told him she had a concern about someone on staff, someone who made her uncomfortable, but she never got to finish. He cut her off. Sighed, "Let's not start drama, Dana." She writes that after that day, she stopped eating in the staff room. People there laugh too loud. Look the other way. They all act like he's harmless, she writes. But I know I'm not imagining this. She started eating alone, grading papers in her car, and every day she hoped she was wrong. But her gut told her she WSN single quotes to Emma. Turns the page slowly. Her hands feel cold. There's only one entry left. It's short, written in a rush. The handwriting is messier than all the others. If anything happens to me, it was someone here, someone who walks these halls, someone people trust. That's it. No date. No signature. Just that final sentence. Emma stares at it for a long time. Her eyes fill with tears, but she doesn't cry. Not at first. Kyle doesn't speak. He just stands there, frozen, like the room is holding its breath. Then Emma closes the journal and finally says it out loud. She knew. Her voice cracks. She knew she wasn't safe. Her hands begin to shake. Her shoulders tremble. And just like that, 10 years of silence shatter. Emma starts to sob, quietly at first, then louder. Kyle kneels beside her. They both know. This changes everything. They don't wait. Kyle grabs the journal. Emma wipes her face and follows him out of the storage room without a word. They drive straight to the Weimers, straight to the face, and follows him out of the storage room without a word. They drive straight to the Rosewood Police Department. Emma hands the journal to the first officer she sees. He flips to the last page. His face changes. Within seconds, he calls upstairs. Get the lead on this, now. The journal is bagged, labeled, tagged into evidence. Emma and Kyle sit on a bench, silent. For the first time in a decade, a detective opens Dana Wright's file. Again, he doesn't ask why they brought the journal. He just says, "You did the right thing." Outside, the sun begins to set. Inside, the cold case is officially reopened. And the clock starts ticking all over again. The journal changes. Everything. Detectives reopen the case and start calling in staff who worked at Rosewood High in 1990. Many of them are retired now. Their hair is grayer. Their voices are quieter. But this time, the questions aren't soft. They're sharp. Where were you the night of the dance? Did Dana Wright ever come to you with concerns? Do you remember anyone acting strange around her? Some staff seemed nervous. They paused before answering. Others looked down at the floor, avoiding eye contact. This doesn't feel like a school memory anymore. It feels like a secret coming back to life. One man sighs and says, "We always knew something wasn't right." But no one wanted to be the one to say it. Another wipes his glasses, then whispers, "She was scared. I just didn't know how bad it was." This time, they're not protecting reputations. They're protecting what's left of their conscience. When detectives knock on Douglas Rhodes' door, it's early morning. He lives in a rundown cabin just outside of town. Overgrown grass, peeling paint, broken porch light. Rhodes opens the door halfway. He's older now. White beard, deep lines around his eyes. But something about him still feels angry. The detective introduces himself. We're reopening the Dana Wright case. We'd like to ask you a few. Before he can finish, Rhodes cuts him off. That was a long time ago, he growls. I've said all I'm going to say. He tries to shut the door. The detective blocks it gently with his foot. We just have a few questions, sir. Rhodes stares him down. Then slams the door. Hard. Boom. Inside. They hear the deadbolt lock. The detective looks at his partner. No words, just a slow shake of the head. This isn't over. But Rhodes clearly has something to hide. Detectives meet with Ms. Elaine Alston, a retired English teacher who worked closely with Dana. She sits at her kitchen table, holding a cup of tea. Her hands shake a little. I like Dana, she says softly. She was kind, always stayed late for the kids. Then, she hesitates. There's something I never told anyone, she adds, because back then, I didn't know what it meant. She takes a deep breath. Dana once told me she felt watched. After school, she said she didn't like walking through the back lot alone. Said she'd wait for the janitor or another teacher. Did she ever say who was watching her? The detective asks. Elaine shakes her head. No, just that it felt wrong. She didn't feel safe. Tears fill her eyes. I should have asked more. I should have done something. The detective writes it all down. That is the first real warning anyone ever reported. Other teachers start coming forward too. They don't say it loudly. They don't say it on camera. But they say it. Mr. Rhodes had a temper. One former staff member remembers him yelling at a student so loudly, the whole science wing went silent. Another says she saw him throw a chair across the lab after a failed experiment. No one got hurt, she says, but it scared us. A third recalls a formal complaint Dana once filed, something about inappropriate behavior. But the record of that complaint? Gone. It was there 1 week, the teacher says, and the next week, nothing. The school never followed up. Or maybe someone made sure they didn't. Single quotes T. The more people talk, the clearer it gets. Mr. Rhodes wasn't just strict. He had a side most. People didn't want to see and Dana. She saw it. The more they dig into Douglas Rhodes, the stranger things get. After retiring in the mid-90s, Rhodes never moved away. He bought a piece of land deep in the Rosewood Woods, 2 acres surrounded by thick trees, no nearby neighbors, no clear road in It's hard to find it all unless you know where to look. He has no landline, no cell phone, no internet, no utility records. He heats with firewood and collects rainwater in plastic drums. He lives off the grid. Completely. Detectives talk to locals. One clerk at the hardware store remembers him. Comes in maybe twice a year. Pays in cash. Never talks. Then a name pops up on an old yearbook. Narron McNally, one of Rhodes' students from 1990. They track him down. He always gave me the creeps, Darren says flatly. Weird eye contact. Real intense, like he was waiting for something. He remembers one thing clearly. Dana used to stay far away from Rhodes. She didn't trust him, Darren says. You could see it. The pieces are falling into place. And Rhodes, he's right where he's always been. Emma brings Dana's journal to the cold case unit again. This time, they bring out old staff duty charts from 1990. Each entry from Dana is matched to dates. One by one, the detectives build a timeline. The results are chilling. Every time Dana mentions seeing him, the man near the parking lot, the eyes in the trees, Rhodes was on late duty that night. Cleanup after. Games. Dance supervision. Lab equipment checks. He had access to every hallway, every staff room, every exit, especially the rear loading dock where Dana was last seen. He also signed out master keys multiple times. The logs are faded, but the signatures match. Emma points to one entry in the journal. It simply says, he was in the staff lounge today. No one said anything. She looks at the detective. It was him. He nods. Rhodes didn't just have opportunity. He had motive, control, and complete access. They don't need guesses anymore. They have a pattern. And now, they have a name. 2 days later, a judge signs the warrant. It's official. The cold case is now an active investigation with a named suspect. Rhodes. Officers meet early at the edge of the forest road that leads to his cabin. There's no cell reception back there. No backup for miles. They wear vests, body cams, flashlights clipped to their belts. One officer quietly checks his radio. Another loads a round into his shotgun. No one speaks. The lead detective looks out toward the tree line and says, whatever he's hiding, it's out there. They hike down the narrow dirt trail in silence. The trees get thicker. The air grows still. Then they see it. A dark green truck, rusted, barely running, parked half sunk in the weeds behind the cabin. The same make and model from Dana's journal. The hairs on the back of Emma's neck stand up. This isn't just a man living in the woods. This is a man who's been hiding something for 10 years. And now, they're about to find out what. The police drive deep into the woods. Tall pine trees close in on both sides. The dirt road is narrow. Their tires crunch over fallen branches. Finally, they see it. A small, rotting cabin sits in a clearing. Moss covers the roof. The windows are boarded up. The chimney leans to one side like it's ready to fall. It's quiet. Too quiet. No birds. No wind. Just the sound of boots on dead leaves. They step up to the front porch. It creaks under there. Wait. The front door is thick wood, scratched and worn. The lead officer knocks. No answer. He knocks again, louder. Still nothing. The team spreads out, checking the sides. One officer peeks through a crack in the boards. I see movement, he whispers. They call out. Mr. Rhodes, this is the police. We have a warrant. No response. The lead officer gives the signal. They raise a battering ram with one hard hit. Bang. The door flies open. Guns up. Flashlights on. They step inside slowly. What they find is worse than they imagined. The smell hits first. It's a mix of mildew, dirt, and something metallic, like old coins and rust. The cabin is freezing cold. The windows are all boarded. Light comes in. Only the officers' flashlights cut through the dark. The kitchen is empty. No food, just old dishes piled in the sink. The counters are covered in dust. In the living room, the furniture is torn. A ripped chair sits in the corner. Blankets are piled high, like someone slept there. Nails hold the curtains to the walls. Not hung, nailed. Like someone didn't want anyone looking in. Or out. One officer opens a cabinet. Empty. Another finds a pile of books, science journals, old maps, survival guides. They move down the hallway. Guns still raised. At the end is a door. A closet. The officer opens it slowly. Inside. It's just shelves, some jackets. Then he freezes. His light lands on something large. Pushed into the corner. It's not furniture. It's a chest. Heavy, locked, dusty, but not like the rest. Like someone touched it recently. He calls for the lead detective. Something about this feels personal. And very, very wrong. The officers gather around the chest. It's wooden. Old. 2 thick latches hold it shut. No locks, just rusted metal. Hooks twisted tight. The lead detective kneels down. He takes a breath. Then, click. One latch. Click. The second. He slowly lifts the lid. Everyone leans in. Inside are small boxes and cloth pouches. Things carefully placed. Not dumped. The first officer opens one of the pouches. Out spills a silver necklace. Then a bracelet. Then a pair of earrings. They're all women's jewelry. Some old, some newer, all worn. He opens another pouch. A name tag falls out. It's cracked and faded, but the words are clear. Dana Wright, Rosewood High Faculty 199. Oh, no one speaks. They dig deeper. Under the jewelry is a stack of Polaroid photos. All of Dana. Some are school pictures, but others. She's in the parking lot, getting into her car, carrying books. Walking alone. The angle is low, far away, like someone was hiding in the bush. One photo shows her inside a classroom, looking out the window, her face half turned. The photos weren't meant to be seen. And now, there's no doubt, Rhodes didn't just watch Dana. He was obsessed. As officers step back from the chest, no one speaks. The room feels colder now. The photos, the jewelry, the name tag. It's no longer a question of if Dana was targeted. Now it's a question of where she ended up. Outside, the wind picks up. A second search team circles the cabin. One officer walks toward the back of the property, a narrow clearing just behind a collapsing woodshed. And that's when he sees it. A Mox shovel, leaning upright against a tree. Its wooden handle is splintered. The metal blade is rusted, but it's not just the rust. It's what's dried along the edge. Packed, cracked layers of brown-red dirt. He glances down at the ground. Nearby. The pine needles don't match the rest of the forest floor. The dirt is loose, soft, too fresh for this remote stretch of land. He radios the lead detective. Sir, we've got something back here. The moment is too important to risk disturbing. The team pulls back. The detective orders a full pause on the cabin search and calls it in. Bring the dogs. Within the hour, 2 cadaver dogs arrive with handlers. They don't start at the shed. They start at the tree line, letting the dogs lead. The officers watch silently as the first dog sniffs its way past the shovel, then veers off. Nose to the ground. 30 yards into the trees, the dog freezes. Its ears go flat. Its stance goes tense. Then it barks, loud, again and again, pawing at a thick patch of pine needles. The dog circles the same spot. The handler glances back. We've got a hit. Gloves go on. The shovels come out, and the woods go quiet. Again, digging starts slow, 1 layer at a time. The dirt is soft, like it's been turned before. 6 inches down, roots, a foot down, dark soil. At 2 feet, one of the officers stops. Something's here. A piece of cloth, dull, stained, folded tightly, appears under the soil. The officer brushes it carefully. Then, boned out first, just a sliver. Then more. A full skeleton begins to take shape. The team drops to their knees. Brushes, tweezers, evidence bags. They work in silence, careful not to damage anything. The bones are curled inward, almost in a fetal position. Wrapped tightly in the cloth. As the dirt clears, the cloth reveals itself, a navy staff sweater. Rosewood High's logo is barely visible on the back. One wrist still wears a small, silver watch, frozen at 11:23 p.m. A gasp breaks the silence. Emma turns away. She can't look anymore. Kyle whispers. She never left the school that night. And now, after 10 years of silence, Dana Wright has finally been found. The body is taken carefully from the forest, placed into a black bag, carried with quiet hands, loaded into the coroner's van as the sun begins to fall behind the trees. A light rain begins to fall, soft, almost like the forest itself is exhaling after holding a secret for 10 years. No press, no crowd, just police, trees, and truth. The van pulls away, tires spinning on damp pine needles. Back at the cabin, the crime scene is taped off. Officers move in silence, their flashlights now lowered. The mood has shifted. Grief replaces adrenaline. At the county coroner's office, the remains are cleaned, documented, and scanned. Dental records arrive that night. There's no need for guesswork. It's her. Dana Wright, age 34, declared missing on June 9, 1990. Confirmed. Found on April 17, 2000. Buried less than 2 miles from where she vanished. The cause of death is listed plainly. Blunt force trauma to the head. There was no struggle. No chance to scream. Someone ended her life fast and with intent. The death certificate is signed, and the town of Rosewood gets the answer it feared for a decade. Dana Wright didn't run. She was taken. And now, they know by who. About 90 minutes after the body is confirmed, a state patrol officer spots a man walking along Route 47. It's almost midnight. He's limping, shoulders hunched, a canvas bag over one arm. Inside the bag, 2 cans of beans, a flashlight, a knife, and a folded road map marked in red pen. The officer pulls over. "Sir, can I help you?" The man doesn't run, doesn't speak at first. He just squints through the rain. It's Douglas Rhodes. The officer reads him his rights and cuffs him without a struggle. When asked if he knows who Dana Wright is, Rhodes says only one thing: she should have kept quiet. That line alone is enough to rattle the young deputy to his bones. Back at the station, Rhodes is placed into holding. No phone call, no questions answered. He just sits, silent, as if this day was always coming, like he had waited for it and accepted it. At the Rosewood Police Department, the cold case board comes down. It doesn't need to be cold anymore. Now, it's a homicide, fully open, fully alive. The photos found in the chest are logged, numbered, and matched against Dana's journal entries. One shows her at her desk, time-stamped, 10:47 p.m. Rhodes was scheduled for a post-dance cleanup that night. He signed the duty sheet. Another photo shows Dana walking alone behind the school gym, the same place where footprints were once found in the mud. Every clue aligns. Even the watch recovered from her body, stuck at 11:23 p.m., matches the janitor's original report that Dana left the gym at around 11:15. Rhodes had time, motive, privacy, and now they have the remains. The journal, the jewelry, the confession. It's enough. The official charges are read aloud the next morning. First-degree murder, kidnapping, concealment of remains. The town wakes up to the news. A teacher they once trusted is now a murderer in handcuffs, and a woman they mourned for years is finally going home. It starts early. Radios switch on. Coffee brews. Alarms ring in the quiet town of Rosewood. Then the headlines hit. Body of missing teacher found. Former colleague arrested. The phone lines light up. News spreads fast. First one neighbor, then another. People step onto porches, still in slippers, holding mugs and shaking hands. In front of the old grocery store, a small crowd gathers around the newspaper stand. Someone reads the headline out loud. No one speaks. The photo on the front page is of Dana Wright, her school. Picture from 1990. She's smiling. That same gentle smile everyone remembers. Kids on bikes ride by slower than usual. They glance at the adults, confused. Inside the Rosewood Diner, a radio plays the local station. A reporter's voice says, former science teacher Douglas Rhodes has been arrested. Police confirmed the remains found in the forest belonged to Dana Wright. An old man turns the radio off mid-sentence. One woman drops her fork. Another wipes away tears. Some people cry. Others sit in silence. But no one says, I knew it. Because the truth is, no one ever thought it would really end like this. Emma doesn't sleep that night. She writes at 6 a.m. Her story goes live on the front page of the Rosewood Press. The headline is simple. She tried to warn us. Underneath, it is a photo of Dana's journal. The last page is shown, the one that reads, if anything happens to me, it was someone here. The article includes parts of Dana's old entries. Her fear, her warnings, the notes she left. Behind that, no one took seriously. Emma writes about the gift left on Dana's desk. The man she saw near the parking lot. The staff lounge incident. It's all there. People read it while drinking coffee. On their phones. At red lights. In classrooms. In barbershops. Some read in silence. Others can't finish. There's guilt. Heavy kind. The kind that stays in your chest and doesn't move. One teacher who worked with Dana leaves a sticky note on Emma's door. It says, "We failed her. Thank you for not staying quiet." Emma doesn't want thanks. She just wants people to remember. Dana saw what was coming, and no one listened. Kyle. Brennan sits on a folding chair in front of a news camera. The local station calls him a hero. He doesn't smile. They ask him, "How did you know where to look?" He just shrugs and says, "I didn't. I was just cleaning like always." But she was always helping people. I figured I should try to help her back. They show clips of the hidden room, the chest, the journal. Kids from the school stop him in the hallway. Some thank him. One student hugs him without asking. He doesn't say much, just nods. Later that night, a news anchor ends the segment by saying she never gave up on her students. And in the end, one of them didn't give up on her. Kyle walks the halls alone that evening. And one quiet moment, he swears he hears chalk on a blackboard. But when he turns around, no one's there. That spring, the school holds a quiet ceremony. No balloons, no music, just chairs set out near the gym where Dana used to stand during lunch duty, sipping coffee and watching over the courtyard. They unveiled a bench under her favorite tree. It's polished dark wood, curved slightly, with smooth silver lettering carved into the backrest. In memory of Dana Wright, teacher, fighter, voice. Emma stands beside Kyle. A few of Dana's old students are there too. Grown now, some with kids of their own. The principal says a few words. So does Emma. But it's not a long ceremony. Dana didn't like attention. She just wanted kids to feel seen, safe. A student sets a single red flower on the bench. Kyle doesn't speak. He just sits down on the edge of the bench, stares out across the courtyard, and listens to the wind move through the trees. For the first time in years, that spot doesn't feel haunted. It feels quiet. And Wright. And hers. 2 years pass. Rhodes never goes to trial. His lawyers push delays, citing health problems. He's moved to a prison hospital in Southern Oregon. Then, one night in 2002, a guard walks past his cell during rounds. Rhodes is slumped over. No movement. The nurse is called. Then the doctor. But it's too late. Douglas Rhodes is dead. Stroke. No warning. No confession. No final statement. No letters. Nothing written. Nothing said. Nothing left behind. He never told the full story. Never admitted what he did. Never explained why. He just carried the secret for 12 years and then died with it. The prison doesn't hold a service. No. Visitors claim his body. The coroner lists him as unclaimed and sends his ashes to a state lot for storage. 1. Cardboard box. No nameplate. No flowers. Just a man who was once trusted. And a silence that now lives with him forever. 2 weeks after the prison files close, Emma receives a letter. It's from the state, confirming that Douglas Rhodes is officially classified as deceased. No known next of kin. No appeals. No evidence requests pending. Just a thin envelope. One line of closure. She sets it on her desk beside the leather journal. The same journal that started everything. She holds it carefully, like it's something fragile, something sacred. Then, one quiet Sunday morning, she drives to Rosewood Cemetery. The sky is pale gray. The ground is damp from last night's rain. She walks slowly, passing names she knows, names she grew up hearing. But today, she's only here for one, Dana Wright. Her headstone is simple: loving daughter, beloved teacher, never forgotten. Emma kneels. Her hands are shaking just a little. She places the journal gently at the base of the grave. "You were right," she says softly. "We should have listened." A long silence follows. No cars, no footsteps. Just the sound of wind through the trees. Emma looks down one last time. Then she stands. She doesn't take the journal back. It stays right there, where it always belonged, with her. As Emma walks away, the camera holds on the grave. The journal rests quietly against the stone, leather darkened slightly by the damp grass. A breeze picks up. Pages flutter. The final page lifts. And in a quiet voice, layered gently over the image, we hear Emma speak. She was brave. She spoke up. She warned us, even when no one listened. A pause. Then, and in the end, she helped solve her own case. The page settles again. The wind dies down. And the screen slowly fades to black. The sounds of birds echo faintly in the background. Then silence. Nothing more needs to be said, because after 10 long years, her voice was finally heard.